All right, Corey from the podcast here with Corey from the podcast.
The other Corey from the podcast, that's me.
We're here. We recorded our podcast last night, which would be Tuesday night. So we're here on Wednesday, the 17th of July. River Valley just announced that they're going to be stepping back from the league for this season, and they'll reevaluate after the year. And we just wanted to react to it because it's not fair to have a team that mattered that much to the league, that caliber of players, that caliber of fans, and not talk about it on the podcast afterwards. So, Corey, what's your reaction?
You said it right there, though, the fans, and that's who I feel for, because Doaktown is the one place where we made the most friends, and it was the fans. Adam Story, his family, Richard Wilson, his family,
Richard Watson,
sorry, Wilson. Cut that.
I'm leaving it in.
Of course, because you're a dick.
Of course. No, but beyond Richard, that, I mean, family, Calvin and all of the,
Alana, Burger Lady,
Al. The trainers in River Valley are awesome, man. And just some of the team, talking to the coaching staff, Tyson Donovan, who's been on a couple times, and, we love talking to. 3 times, actually, I think Tyson's been on.
Yeah.
Great people, great team, big loss for the league. Then there were 6, though.
How did we go from rumors being that we're going to have 9 teams, maybe even 10, to know we're staying at 8, which is fine, to know we're going to go to 7, and now we're down to 6. It's very disappointing, I'm not going to lie.
If you think about it, 4 teams that suited up last year aren't going to be back this year. Spring Hill is not back. They moved to Amherst, so it's just a relocation, but still, maybe some of the best logos in the league too. River Valley and Spring Hill, love those logos.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unfortunate for the league. I'm going to miss my trips to River Valley. Some of the best burgers in the league, burgers in the league, in my opinion. It sucks. And clearly there was some upward trajectory from the first year where they definitely had their struggles. Started the second year, they had their struggles, and then
they made it to the finals.
Won the first couple games.
To the finals. They were 2 wins away from winning it all. Like, some of our most classic moments of us being goofballs come from Doaktown. Rum. That was in Doaktown. Very tall child. That was in Doaktown.
It was one of the best rinks to live stream in, thanks to Mark Betts.
My favorite. Absolutely. It's the only rink where I actually got to sit and record.
Yeah.
I'm very bummed out by this one. Very bummed out. Really not happy.
I think it's a big loss for that community. I know this brought a lot of money into the community, so that's rough. It's unfortunate because a lot of their fan base was younger. They'd come with their parents, and that's just a really family-oriented area, and just some of the most polite people you'll ever meet. So,
talking with Adam earlier, that's the one thing he said. We had a family there, not just my family, just everybody in general, the community, the podcast people from around. Like, there was people from Fredericton going down to see them. You had a real big family there. It's just not there. I hope that they come back. I really do.
So now here's my question for you. Some of those players now become free agents for this season. They're going to be protected by River Valley. So here's the details that we know. They're going to be protected by River Valley for the season. So if River Valley comes back next year, all of those players go back to River Valley. But for this year, those players are all free agents. So we could see Peter Traynor sign elsewhere. We could see Benji Curtis sign elsewhere. And a lot of those guys are junior A or less caliber. So these teams have 5 spots to fill. Could we see Benji Curtis in Elsipogtog? Could we
I don't think so. I don't.
You don't think you want to end up in Elsipogtog? He's played there before?
I don't know, man. There's a rivalry. There was a big rivalry. An underrated
huge rivalry. Yeah.
And a very underrated one between River Valley and Elsipogtog.
Didn't make our list, did it?
No, it did not. And a lot of people were like, you missed one. And I think I put it in I think you said, is there any other team? And I, quick as a hiccup, I just said, yeah, LC and River Valley. I don't know. I'm not the news I wanted to hear. After we got a few signings from another team that we're going to talk about, riding that high of seeing, other teams, and then this just ruined my day.
So River Valley, hopefully back next year. We can't wait to get back to that rink. I mean, if I'm driving through, I'm probably going to stop in and have a couple burgers. I'll be honest with you.
I better be with you.
So yeah, sucks. We're going to miss those fans. Hopefully we see a lot of them in Miramichi. And keep following the podcast. Hopefully pop into our live streams. Let us know that you're there. We'd love to talk to you. We miss a lot of you. And I've already talked to some of them. So
same here.
And I think about just the best people, man. They had the coolest intro stuff where they had the seventh lumberjack on the ice and just little things like that. It's a good touch.
Always the same goal song. Always the same. Like when you heard, I forget what the song was. It was a song that I hated, but I grew to like.
Oh yeah,
because it was the Lumberjacks intro song.
And most importantly, rum, 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 rum.
Rum, 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 rum. It'll live forever thanks to Adam's story.
So the other signings that happened after we recorded this podcast, we're going to talk about now, all from the LC Puck Duck Hawks. The LC Puck Duck Hawks signed Brody MacArthur, who he played for the Summerside Western Capitals.
Yeah. Got
357 points in 196 games. That's a hell of a signing, Corey.
When I saw that, I thought it was a typo. Because what is that? 3-4 points a game?
And it's a couple points a game. They also signed Caden Peck from, you guessed it, the Summerside Western Capitals. 28 points in 48 games. Another forward. Clearly the Hawks know that that's where the holes are, and they're filling them.
Yeah. I forget which one it was. I read all their posts. On one of those, it was clear that they're pushing for a cup. They want a title.
Yeah. The third signing was the first of their 2 Moncton import cards. So they have Junior A cards. They have 2 Moncton imports, which can be any level. And then they have their regular import. So Keegan Hunt, who played last year for the West Kent Steamers, and prior to that played 2 seasons for the Halifax Mooseheads, is their first Moncton import, a defenseman. So you're looking at an already good defensive core, picking up Keegan Hunt and getting better, in my opinion.
Yeah.
This was the post on the Caden Peck, the Hawks. Whoever made this post, I assume Trey, could have been somebody else, but probably Trey. Caden will help bolster our forward group as we look to push for the title this season. Those are some big words from the LC Puck Duck Hawks, and I love it.
I wish every team would word it like that, because that just makes you hungry for hockey. It makes you just wonder how even this season is going to be. Even with the loss of River Valley for this year, I kind of look at it in the way of Amherst is not that far away. Bouctouche and Rishi Bouctouche, they're connected at the hip. We can be there easily. The 2 far ones, Miramichi isn't that far, but then there's the Peninsula and Dalhousie. So, those are the 2 far ones, but they're 2 that we will be making a trip to. Absolutely.
Yeah,
making one on my birthday.
We've got some road trips coming up. We'll be at the press conference on Tuesday afternoon for the Acadian Peninsula Hockey Club. We're looking forward to being there. But yeah, we just wanted to come in here. We're going to throw now to our regular episode, which we recorded on Tuesday night. But we just didn't think it was fair to put that out without having some reaction, having a discussion about the River Valley Lumberjacks, because we're absolutely heartbroken by it. So
the Hawks stuff could have waited to next week.
Yeah.
This one, I don't know. You got to give them their flowers. They made it to the finals. The fan base is one of the best. Just the people there are just incredible. Anybody happy that this happened? This lessens the league. And the league is still really, really good, but there's one less team. So, my opinion.
Yeah, it's a tough one, but we'll get to the regular episode now. We're going to throw to that. And thanks for listening. We'll be back next Thursday at the same time. Take care. Hello and welcome to the unofficial BSHL Senior Hockey League podcast. I'm your host, Corey, joined by my co-host, Corey.
Good day. How's it going?
Man, I'm doing pretty well. We're back after a couple weeks off.
Yep.
We had co-hosts last week, so thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks to Roxanne Merle-Young for coming on. It's really nice to have Roxanne on as a guest. We have a great deal of respect for Roxanne. So
absolutely,
it was awesome to have a week off, and also awesome to hear Roxanne.
Yes.
We definitely missed her a lot. So we've had a lot of sightings. Man, Corey, want to start getting into them?
Let's get into them because there's a lot.
Let's leave Amherst for the last. We're going to start with the Dalhousie Marauders. Last week, I'm not sure what was announced last week, what wasn't. I don't remember. Some might be repeats, but we're going to give our opinion on these anyway. Dalhousie Marauders have announced the return of Sam Gendron and Bob Pelletier. Robert Pelletier is back. Corey, how do you feel about that?
Love those two. Love those signings. Pelletier was just the heart and soul of the Marauders last season. Just one of the best guys on the ice. Takes a lot of abuse, but in a weird way, I think he enjoys it.
They also announced the return of defenseman Francis Thibault, one of my favorite Marauders for sure.
Absolutely.
Very talented goaltender, or very talented defenseman. I'm still thinking about Sam. Sam's a great goaltender. Francis, very talented defenseman, puck moving, solid defensively, can score some goals.
Yeah.
Man, he was key for them in the playoffs for sure, and he's a local guy.
And I believe he will be key next season because they are going for it again. And it's interesting to see.
It is. They also signed Alex Gallant using their second junior A card. He's from PEI. He can score some goals. He's also a bit of a rough player, so he'll help them out on that front too. So that's all the Dalhousie signings from the last couple of weeks. Pretty impressive, though.
Yeah.
The Bouctouche JCs have announced that they've signed Zach Leblanc and Nicholas Bastarache, both from the Kent Coyotes.
Two young, talented players. You got a mix of veterans and young blood in this team. This team is probably one of the more interesting one to watch this season.
I think so too. I think they're going to be very interesting. Like you said, it's a mix. They've got some guys coming back. They've got guys that weren't here last year. They're going to be back.
Yeah.
They also announced the return of Sam LeBlanc and Matt Bernier. So, again, there's some vets coming back. We have interviews this week with the two Kent Coyotes, the rookies coming in.
Yeah.
So you'll be hearing those at the end of this podcast. Now we'll get to Amherst. Man, Amherst has made a splash to say the least. So they've announced the return of Matt Colson.
Yes.
Who was a guest on the podcast, really good physical player. Jesse
Awesome
Cox, who's going to be in goal for them again this year. Chad Miller, Matt Stone, and Cole Wood. So again, some returning solid players who've only improved, especially, when I think about Matt Stone, improving year after year, and had a good season last year with Spring Hill, coming back here with Amherst. I'm pretty excited to see that. And a big return, in more ways than one, Robert Davis is back with the Amherst Senior Hockey Club. Corey, you're excited about that?
Oh, absolutely. Bobby Davis is, much like Francis Thibault, a very physical presence.
Absolutely. I love watching him fight. That fight against Trackety, I will never forget it.
Yeah.
But just, that guy's a fun guy to watch, a good leader. And with this Amherst team gearing up like they are, I think, to make a good run at this, I think having veterans like Robert Davis in the locker room is going to be key.
We haven't heard anything from the Hawks. We haven't heard anything from, we've heard a little bit about the Peninsula, but not enough.
We haven't heard about River Valley, only a couple signings from Miramichi.
As of right now, you look at what's been announced by by Dalhousie and by the Amherst Senior Hockey Club. Don't be shocked if those are the two teams in the finals. There's some big names being signed there.
Yeah. So the new signings for the Amherst Senior Hockey Club who weren't there last year, we have Reed Voss, possibly Vos, not sure how to pronounce it. Sorry, Reed. Colby and Carson Ladslev from Truro. We also have Matthew Hunter, Jaden Matheson, and Chase Carter. Those would all be either local guys or junior A guys. But new faces, some former ECHL players there, guys that have played NCAA Division 2 or 3, guys that have played in the Q. Very talented team they're kind of putting together here. And now we know their imports, Corey. We know that they have signed Thomas Casey, who's from, I believe, Halifax, Nova Scotia. No, Charlottetown, PEI. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
He's also a former Charlottetown Islander.
Yes.
He's going to be their import player. He played 206 games, racking up 167 points, assistant captain for a couple of years. Then went on, played UNB and St. Mary's. I think you got to be pretty excited to see Thomas Casey in Amherst this year.
Absolutely. You know, the talent just keeps getting better and better and better. And, you know, we're still just July. So
we also see that Amherst has signed their import goaltender.
He's from Halifax.
He is. He's from Halifax, Nova Scotia. Matt Welsh, once again, played in the Q. Very talented goaltender. Played for the Charlottetown Islanders. Also played at St. Mary's. 244 career appearances, 125 victories, ranking top 5 in league history.
Wow.
With 13,080 minutes played. He holds the record for most minutes by a goaltender in the QMJHL.
That is
just
crazy.
Very impressive. Definitely going to be one of the top goaltenders in the league this year.
Absolutely.
As we see these announcements, what do you think about Amherst right now?
Could be a finalist. You know, I hate to pick a favorite for the cup because playoffs are so unpredictable. Like last year, who saw the Hawks getting out in the first round? You know? But it's so unpredictable. But with these signings, with these names, with that talent, you know,
they're a contender.
They're contenders. They're definite contenders. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They're contenders.
I also want to say that for a very affordable price, you're going to be able to go this year and see some really high caliber hockey.
Absolutely. That's
in your own backyard.
Exactly.
Unreal. The league's growing maybe too fast. I'm definitely a little bit concerned about if all the teams can keep up with this.
Yeah, that's a concern for sure.
But, you know, we'll save those concerns for another episode. I think for now we'll stick with, we're very excited to see these guys come into the league. We think Amherst is going to be a pretty impressive team here. And
I think the word is powerhouse.
They're kind of building up a powerhouse. Yeah. We were going to have an interview in the coming weeks with their GM, James Sanford.
Yep.
So that's going to be a big one. I've got a lot of questions for James. One thing that a lot of people question is, what is the zone for the Amherst Hockey Club?
Yeah, that's
so I directly asked, what is the zone for the Amherst Hockey Club? And I got an answer. Amherst has Cumberland County to Truro. Yep. That's the zone. So when you look at those guys like the Lancelevs from Truro, that's within their zone. They've then also got 5 junior A cards they can sign people with. Mm-hmm. And some of these guys from Charlottetown or elsewhere, junior A cards, gets a little bit confusing right now in the league because there's a lot going on. And then you have imports, one from PEI and one from Halifax. So you have your import goaltender and your import player again this year. Ultimately, a lot of talent coming into the league. And, man, we're only a few months away now. I'm getting pretty excited. Half the wait of the offseason is over. But we've had a beautiful summer, haven't we?
Absolutely. It's been fun. It's been annoying and fun because we have to wait still half the season. So
it's been incredibly warm. Man, it is hot. Beautiful weather to be on the water or in the water, though. So
I go for a daily walk, and by the time I get here, I have to jump in the shower immediately because I am drenched from head to toe.
So today, Corey, we've got some good interviews.
Yes.
We have an interview with Nicholas Bastarache, Zachary Leblanc,
Mm-hmm.
And then we also have an interview with a guy that I'm really happy to have on here. Super nice guy, too. Logan Timmons from the
one of my favorite JCs.
So you've got a Bouctouche JC triple header coming up at the end of this episode.
So Bouctouche fans, be listening and be excited for this next season. I want to see everybody at that arena for those JCs games.
So, Corey, let's stray a little bit away from hockey now. Last weekend, we had a lot of fun. We actually got to hang out. We were together most of the weekend, which is
it was fun.
Always annoying. But, always fun. It's a great time. So we went and saw North Pro Wrestling on Friday night. One of the best cards and best shows I've seen from them, maybe ever. Man, we had a lot of fun, though.
A lot of fun, and I know he won't listen to it. Maybe he will, but Roland, our good friend, he sent me a bunch of videos to put on the Wrestling with the Bros Facebook page, and I rewatched the Carnival Death Match between former WWE superstar Sin Bodhi, the Warlord of Weird himself, and Moondog Dylan Davis, the North Pro champion, and they did a spot in there. Spot's a move, I guess you could say, where Sin Bodhi put a watermelon on Moondog's chest and cut it with a machete, a very sharp machete. And
a real machete. Let me just be very clear here.
Legit machete. And he went all the way through. I don't know how he didn't cut this man. Because watching it in slow motion, it goes all the way through. It touches, if not his skin, his pants or whatever. And then after that, he starts cutting the watermelon with ease with that friggin' machete.
Not on him, on the mat at that point.
On the mat. But that first blade shot was right on his stomach, basically. And I was like, you couldn't pay me enough to do that. Couldn't pay me enough.
So the other thing we got to check out, and something that's not really, I don't talk a lot about, but I love theater. I love going to see plays. Yeah. I know last year I went and saw Becca from Theater New Brunswick. I try and get out to a lot of Theater New Brunswick stuff if I can. A lot of things that come to Moncton I'll probably go see. But there was a special thing because it kind of blended two of my loves. I love plays and I love wrestling. And we saw Mythos Ragnarok in Riverview, New Brunswick, which is a play where all of the stunts are performed in a wrestling ring, essentially. Yep. So the stunts or any fighting scenes, the ring is your stage, but the ring doesn't have ropes or posts. It's very interesting. But seeing them act out the play and then tell the story and fill in the gaps with wrestling moves or matches. Man, one of the most amazing experiences and just, I really enjoyed it.
I would go see them in a heartbeat. Like legit, they had wrestling belts. And just think of Norse mythology, which I wasn't really too familiar about it. So the night that we went to see that, when I got here at my place, I found a little animated video that was like an hour and 10 minute explaining the history of Norse mythology and all that. And I was like hooked immediately. Mythos Ragnarok, if it's in your area, don't miss your chance. These guys and girls flew all the way from England to come and do this.
They previously only done the show in England, and then they had a run in Australia. Yeah. And now they came to Canada, to the Maritimes, with the help of former Spring Hill owner David Boyce. So that was a really great experience. If they ever come back to the Maritimes, I'll be sure to talk about it on this podcast, because I really want to see people get out there and enjoy it, because it was one of the best entertainment experiences that I've personally had in a long time. So hats off to those guys and gals, and thanks to Boyce for putting that on. We loved it.
Loved it.
Corey, we're going to get now to some interviews. So first, we're going to listen to the interviews with Zachary Leblanc and Nicholas Bastarache. So we'll throw to those right now.
All right.
All right. I'm Corey from the podcast. I'm joined by the newest signing of the Bouctouche JC, Zach Leblanc. How's it going, buddy?
Pretty good. Yourself?
Good, man. Good. How do you feel as you're getting ready to throw on that green jersey?
Oh, pretty excited there.
You played at Clermont Cormier for a few years before you moved on to the Kent Coyotes. How's your time in Kokang?
It was an awesome time. We had a good team. We did good. We won 3 provincials, 1 Atlantic. It was a very fun time.
You were voted MVP of the team while you were there as well?
Yes, 2 years.
2 years, man. What a run. The Coyotes have an amazing franchise. It's truly in Junior B. It's as good as it gets.
Yeah, it's probably one of the best.
Right on, man. Making the jump to senior, you're going to have one of the best goalies in the league as your goaltending partner. How excited are you to play with Alex Collette? I'm
very looking forward because he's going to be a great mentor. Very excited to join the team, and Alex, show me the way.
Alex is awesome, man. He's such a nice guy. The JCs have a great organization. What can they expect from you, Zach?
I don't know how many games I'll play, but I'll try to do my job as a rookie. Give them a chance to win when I'm in between the pipes.
Awesome, man. All right, now we're going to ask some questions that we ask everybody. When you're driving to the rink, what music are you listening to, buddy?
Listening to rock.
Rock? Do you have a favorite band?
I would say AC/DC before games.
All right, AC/DC, I like it. Do you have any superstitions? You're a goalie. I mean, we got to ask it.
Yeah, I'm there early before the games, drink a coffee, do my stretch. Always the same thing.
How early do you get there?
Like 2 hours, 1 hour and a half.
Okay, yeah. A lot of goalies, though. I mean, you got a lot of stuff to put on, so I get that. What's your favorite rink food when you're at a game and you're not playing?
When I'm not playing?
Yeah, when you're not playing, what do you like to eat?
Probably at the rink, good poutine.
Good poutine. They have a good poutine in Bouctouche. Yeah. All right, man. We can't wait to see you on the ice this fall. Thanks for doing this, Zach Leblanc. We're pretty excited to see you in Bouctouche, buddy.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks, Zach.
No problem.
All right, Corey from the podcast. I'm joined by the other Corey, of course.
The other one.
We're joined by one of the newest signings of the Bouctouche JCs, Nicolas Bastarache. Welcome, Nick.
Thanks.
Man, how excited are you to sign with the JCs?
It's I've ended my junior career a couple months back, and I'm excited to continue playing, I guess.
Yeah. Did you watch any JCs games growing up?
A lot. Yep. So they used to play all on the Sundays, and we had nothing else to do on Sundays, so we went to watch them a bunch, I guess.
Cool. How's it feel? You're going to put on that jersey that you've been watching all those years. It's a pretty good organization.
Yeah, for sure. I know a lot of people in the organization, and they're nice people, good people, and I'm excited to go and be a part of the organization. Right
on, man. So you played at Clermont before you went to the Coyotes, right?
Yep.
Very similar to Zach, actually. You guys kind of played the same places, the same years. Tell me about the Kent Coyotes. That's really, as far as Junior B goes, phenomenal organization, man. They're so professional. Talk to me about your time there.
So for sure, when I got out of high school, and exactly like you said, me and Zach played 3 years together in high school, and then all our years together with the Coyotes for 4 years. The first 2 years were a bit weird because of COVID, but the last 2 years we had a full season, and we had a lot of young people, a lot of young guys when we started, so we had the chance to build up as a team, and then not the last year, but the year before that, we won the Atlantics, we won the whole thing, and that was the first thing, the first time the Coyotes it ever happened.
Yep.
And then last year, not the same thing. We got kicked out in the Atlantics, but we got there as well. So, like I said, it was a great team. We got the chance to build as a team, and it was a really fun junior experience, I'd say.
That's awesome, man. Getting to the Atlantics is fun. Where was the Atlantics 2 years ago?
2 years ago was in Kokang.
It's what I thought. And then last year was Newfoundland, yeah?
Newfoundland, yep.
Yeah, cool. So that's a lot of fun. Getting there 2 years in a row is not easy. It says a lot about that organization and you guys as a team.
Exactly.
You're making the jump to senior. You're joining a young team. The JCs have been announcing a lot of signings. It looks like they're going to have a really interesting team this year. What can the fans expect from you? You were a captain in Kokang, yeah?
Yep, my last year, yep.
Awesome. So what can the fans expect from you?
So Well, I guess, there, like you said, there's a lot of young guys coming in, but I guess they all have a lot of potential, and maybe in a couple of years we'll have the chance to be leaders to new guys, and we'll hope that, we still have a couple older guys in the roster, so we'll get the chance to try and fit in and get comfortable. So
yeah, you've got some great leaders with Jacques Cormier and Dan LeBlanc, another defenseman. It's gonna be a very interesting mix, and I think Bouctouche has a good chance to be a fun team to watch this year.
Yep.
Nick, can you tell me what do you do for a living, Nick?
So for a living, right now I'm in studies.
Okay.
So I'm studying kinesiology right now. So I'm going into my last year and finishing my bachelor next year. And basically, I'm hoping I'm going to be applying in medicine next year and hoping to get in.
Awesome.
But and now for the summers, I'm working for my dad and my sister's boyfriend there on construction and milling wood. So that's pretty much it for now.
That's man, it's pretty hot. We were recording this on the 9th of July. It's been really hot the last couple of days. It must be tough out there milling wood.
Oh yeah, for sure. The people know me for getting real tanned up, and the last few days been pretty hot and getting sun. So
yeah, I can confirm that Nick has quite the tan right now. What else do you do in your off season? What are your hobbies?
I got a couple of friends that got boats, and like to go boating on weekends and stuff like that. And I just recently started golfing.
Oh man!
Didn't like in the past, but now I have more patience, I guess. And
yeah, you need a lot of patience. Golf's one of the hardest sports I've ever tried. It's an interesting thing. Right on, man. All right, we've got some questions that we ask everybody that comes on the podcast, and we've got to ask them to you. We're going to start with when you're driving to the rink, what are you listening to?
I'd say I'm a pretty good. I'm a pretty big country / bluegrass fan. So most of the music I'm listening to are pretty much bluegrass and country, and even if ever they pass me the aux in the dressing room, is pretty much what we I guess.
All right, so if the vets give you the aux, we're going to be hearing some banjo.
Yeah.
I like it.
So what kind of food do you like to eat at the arenas?
Usually I like to eat a couple hours before a couple hours before the game, so I don't get too stuffed there. But
are you a spaghetti before the game guy too?
More of a pizza guy, I say.
Pizza, okay, pizza. And what if you're not playing and you're at the rink? What are you going to eat?
Poutine for sure.
Poutine? All right, poutine. It's a popular one. Do you have any superstitions, Nick? I know you're not a goalie, so you're normal. But
yeah, like you'd say, I'm not as superstitious as Zach, but I always drink the same thing. I'll get a Gatorade before the game, and sometimes a Red Bull, I guess. And then
does it matter what kind of Gatorade?
Nope, not the Gatorade.
Because I've heard some guys are like, it has to be a red Gatorade, and they'll drive store to store until they find it. All right. Awesome, Nick. Thanks for doing this, buddy. We can't wait to see you on the ice in a couple months, and talk soon.
Talk soon. Thanks, Corey. And Corey.
Later, buddy.
Bye.
All right. Great to see some young talent from the Bouctouche JCs and how excited they are to play in Bouctouche. Our next interview is with veteran of the league. Whatever. Last year was his rookie year. He was up for rookie of the year as well. And then he's back this year again. Very talented player, Logan Timmons.
Yeah, very interesting interview. Was super happy to have Logan on. What can you say? This guy's the bright future of the JCs.
Yeah, I think he's going to play an integral role. So we're going to throw that interview now. And after that interview, that'll be the end of the episode. So, Corey, thanks for joining me. I certainly do appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we'll talk to you later.
Take care.
All right, we're back on the podcast. I'm joined by my co-host, Corey.
Good day.
We're joined by a special guest today from the Bouctouche JCs, coming to us from Nova Scotia, I assume, Logan?
Yeah, Cape Breton.
Cape Breton. Logan Timmons, how's it going, man?
Good, yourself?
Good, buddy. Good.
Very good.
We're happy to get you on here. So let's start off before the BSHL. You played some in the MHL. Where did you play in the Maritime Hockey League?
In Yarmouth for the Yarmouth Mariners.
How was that as an experience?
I loved it, man. I won't lie. It was great too. I played there for 2 years. It was really fun. Great hockey town. Fans are all involved over there, so it's a real community to play in.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful spot. Yarmouth is special, man. After that, you played some Junior B in Nova Scotia, I believe.
Yeah. So I played for the Pictou Junior B team, and just for about 10, 12 games, they were making a push off, so they gave me a call to play.
How was that little playoff push?
Yeah, I don't know. I was just the coach that was coaching for the Junior B team. He knew me. He coached me way back when I was younger, so I just went for 10 games, I think it was, and that was pretty fun too. I mean, I did a lot of traveling for that though.
Yeah, that would have been pretty far from home for you.
Yeah.
So did you know a lot about the Bouctouche Senior Hockey League before you got the call from Bouctouche?
I did. I heard about it. So when I moved up here about 5 years ago, I always heard about this senior league, and I wanted to kind of join, but never really came around to it until finally I met a few of my buddies and stuff, and they asked me to play for last season. So
how did that come about? How did you end up in Bouctouche? Can you tell me that story?
Yeah, no, I went to I know David Hinckley, so the owner of the Steamers is my buddy. He's from, so he kind of hooked me up with with the managers and stuff, and just went from there.
That's awesome. I didn't know that Hinckley was the one that got you in. That's pretty cool. What did you think of the league? What did you think of your time last year?
I won't lie, it's nice to play competitive hockey again. I always heard that the senior league was rough and that, but from what I've seen, there's a lot of great players that play now. I mean, you look at Danik Kat and Thibault. And
Francis Thibault, man, what a player.
Yeah, a lot of great players. The league's fast. I find there's a lot of great players that play. It's fast. I mean, don't get me wrong, it still has the physicality to senior A hockey, but it's fast.
Yeah, what do you think of the JCs as an organization? Because they're, man, just a cornerstone organization for the league.
Yeah, no, I mean, Bouctouche JCs they're always a great organization. I mean, there's nothing wrong there. Unfortunately, last year it just didn't go the way we wanted to. Came down to the last game of the season, we were playing against Shippigan.
Yeah.
We would have ended up 5th or 4th place, and we ended up losing. So we did finish last, but I mean, we all had fun and we all had a great year, and hopefully we'll turn things around come next season.
It was awesome to see how close the league was at the end there. I think, like you said, from 4th to 8th was 3 points. It was kind of crazy.
Everything was really close, so anything could have happened just in one win away or 2 wins. And
when you started the league, or you started to play last year, and we could see the skill. And then as the year progressed, your play was phenomenal. And by playoffs, you were a key player for the JCs. What helped you elevate your game as the year went on?
So come to it, the last 2 winters, actually, before I started with the JCs, I've only played in a couple little leagues that wasn't really full time. So I wasn't on that much. So come around playing with JCs when we were playing games every weekend and practicing and stuff, I come back to getting back into the game. So kind of got, for the first 4 or 5 games, kind of took me a little bit, but after that, when I got back into it, it came around. So
it was crazy, man. Seeing your skill is really special. We were supposed to do the interview tomorrow, so this is Monday. Tuesday, you play ball hockey on Tuesdays in the summer?
Yeah, I'm in the Goodies League actually with Colette and Dan LeBlanc and them there. They asked me to play this year, so we're Tuesday night in the Goodies Ball Hockey League. Right
on, man. That sounds like fun. Some great rivalries in this league, Corey. Wouldn't you say?
I would, and I'm curious to know what you knew about the good old JC's Hawks rivalry, because you had a little taste of it last year. But before that, they played in the playoffs. But what are your thoughts on that? How does that impact the league?
So I've heard that was always Rishabukdo and JC's was the rivalry. I know that the season, not last season, the season before, they went to playoffs together, Game 7 or something like that.
Yeah.
So I know the emotions are always high leveled when you get to play the Hawks. You know the fans are into it, even both sides, the JC's fans and the Hawks fans. And the both fans, they travel from rink to rink. So whenever we play Bouctouche, it's a lot of Hawks fans come down. And when we play in Bouctouche, JC's fans go up. So, I mean, the emotions are high. Don't get me wrong. It's nice. I love it myself. I like the rivalry. And I think it's very important to the league to have rivalries like that. Even Miramichi, when we play against Miramichi, it's a rivalry too. So.
Yeah, it's fun to watch as a fan to see the teams on the ice. Mutual respect, but like you say, Danny Crate, one of the best players in the league. There's a mutual respect amongst players, but the rivalry is so much fun to watch.
Yeah, for sure.
The JCs have been signing players nonstop, man. It seems like there's an announcement or two every week. How excited are you to be back there this year?
I'm very excited. I know we made some big changes, so we got no new coach there. Macazor and Ryan Salvis is going to be behind the bench too, so it's going to be. And every week I've been seeing the same thing as you guys. We've been signing players, right? So I'm glad to see that we have Matty Newcomb coming back and Jacques. So
yeah, man. Last year was maybe a rough year for the JCs, but it was a really good team. You guys played some good hockey. It was fun to watch. That Dalhousie series, a lot of those games came down to the wire, really. I love to see them. You can see the JCs are going to be a really talented young team this year. So it should be fun to watch. I've got a question for you, Logan. What do you do for a living when you're not playing hockey?
I fish. I'm a fisherman in Bay St. Anne and in Casey Cape, lobster fisherman.
Cool. How do you like lobster fishing?
In common.
That's something I did. I've been lobster fishing for the last 8-9 years now. So it's something I did pretty well since right out of high school. And even during high school. So I love it. I love it to being on the water and stuff. I mean, you have your bad days like anything else, but
yeah, I get it, man. There's some freedom there for sure. Where do you live now? You're from Cape Breton, but you live out this way?
Yeah, I'm in Grand Dig, yeah.
Grand Dig, right on. All right, so now we got the questions that we ask everybody. You've heard them. Colette answered them. Everybody answers them. When you're driving to the rink, what are you listening to?
Oh, I'm more of a AC/DC kind of guy.
Favorite foods at the rinks when you're not playing?
At the rink, I'm not sure. I'm like after a game, maybe a poutine, but before at home, I'm a big spaghetti guy.
Spaghetti.
Pre-game spaghetti. Spaghetti is a big one.
Loading,
carb up. You have any superstitions?
I always take my stick the same way at the same time and do the same routine before every game. Other than that, not much.
Okay. What do you think?
He's honest.
I like it. Yeah, he's
usually
like, I got some superstitions.
No.
Just own it. Yeah, it's fine. What do you think of the podcast? What do you think of what we did last year? And do you think we should add anything to it?
No, man, you guys are doing great ever since I started hearing about you guys. I seen that you guys kind of blew up actually after during the season. It kind of got big and stuff. And I love it. I love seeing you guys out there and all the interviews you're doing. I listen to everything and I follow all you guys do. So
thanks for doing this, Logan. Hopefully we'll have you back on sometime this season. And we'll keep going from here, man. We're only going to keep growing. But Logan Timmons back with the JCs this year. I think the fans should be pretty excited about the signings that are happening in Bouctouche. So, all right, thanks, Logan. We'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Yeah. See you.